6th, reading to you from the Fall River Reporter. The first story, 20-year-old killed after being ejected in Wareham motorcycle crash. Wareham, Mass. A local man has died after injuries sustained in a motorcycle crash. According to Wareham Police, on Tuesday at approximately 2 p.m., Wareham officers, along with Wareham Fire and Wareham EMS, responded to a motor vehicle crash involving a motorcycle on Cranberry Highway in the area of Patterson Brook Road. When officers arrived on scene, they found the rider of the motorcycle had been ejected and was being tended to by Good Samaritans. Officers immediately assisted in rendering medical aid to the rider until Wareham Fire and Wareham EMS arrived on location. Wareham EMS arrived on scene and pronounced the male rider, a 20-year-old from Rochester, Mass., as deceased. The male operator of the vehicle, a 67-year-old of Northbridge, Mass., remained on location. According to the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, Jeremy Braz, B-R-A-Z, is the deceased. The crash is currently being investigated by the Wareham Police Department, Massachusetts State Police detectives assigned to the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, and troopers assigned to Collision Analysis and Reconstruction Section, or CARS, unit. The next story, Fall River, Massachusetts State Police combine to arrest 2, seize drugs, guns, ammo, and cash. 2 city residents were arrested in a combined effort by Fall River and Massachusetts State Police. According to FRPD, on Tuesday, after months of investigative work, the Fall River Police CAST unit, alongside the Massachusetts State Police Gang unit, executed multiple search warrants across the city as part of Operation Whiteout. The MSP STOP team secured entry at 211 Hathaway Commons Road, while additional teams simultaneously executed warrants at 672 Tucker Street and storage units at U-Haul, 110 Lewiston Street. 672 Tucker Street had been a long-standing source of neighborhood complaints, with residents voicing concerns about suspected drug activity and public safety issues. As part of Operation Whiteout, police collaborated with the Massachusetts State Police by executing a search warrant at the property, leading to the arrest of 2 individuals and the seizure of illegal firearms, drugs, and cash. 35-year-old Jonathan White and 36-year-old Tiffany Cabral were taken into custody. Next, police say person has died from injuries sustained in electrocution at Fall River home. A rescued worker from Tuesday morning has died at the hospital, according to authorities. According to Captain Eric Caffrey, at approximately 9:20 a.m. today, the Fall River Fire Department responded to an emergency involving a person who suffered an electrical shock at 198 Tecumseh Street. This incident required both a medical emergency response and a technical rescue operation. Upon arrival, firefighters encountered a patient stranded on scaffolding after material he was working in came into contact with the power line. Initial responding units included Ladder 4 and Heavy Rescue 1, with additional support from Car 3, Engine 4, and Ladder 2. Firefighters quickly worked to secure the patient, utilizing a Stokes basket and employing Ladder 4 as a high point to safely lower the individual to the ground. The coordinated efforts of the Fall River Fire Department, EMS personnel, and the Fall River Police Department ensured the patient received immediate medical care and transport to a medical facility. According to Sergeant Ross Aubin, AUBIN, the person has died. We regret to report that the individual involved in today's electrocution incident has succumbed to their injuries and was pronounced deceased at the hospital. Out of respect for the family, the victim's name will not be released at this time. We extend our deepest condolences to the family and loved ones during this difficult time. The incident remains under investigation. Next, Preservation Society continues restoration of Fall River's St. Anne Shrine. Here is an update on their progress, which includes an upcoming Mass and rededication. Since becoming detached from the Fall River Diocese in November of 2018, volunteers and donors have been keeping St. Anne's Shrine's lower church open and working toward the opening of the upper church. The shrine issued another positive update on the restoration process, which includes an upcoming Mass and rededication. According to Brian Boyle of the St. Anne Shrine Preservation Society, the Dominican chapel and crypt in the lower shrine, the final resting place of 3 of the fathers who were responsible for making St. Anne's a destination for thousands of pilgrims over the last century, has been completed after an 18-plus month renovation effort. Boyle stated that the work involved removing the failed tile flooring, installing a trench around the perimeter of the chapel, and installation of a sump pump to remove any future water ingress, removal of the damaged wallboard up to the level of the windows, installation of vapor barriers, new wallboard, and a marble floor with the mosaic inlay of the crest of the Order of Preachers. The altar, which had been in a state of disrepair, was stripped of its finish, damaged wood replaced, refinished with waterproof primer, repainted, highlights gold-leafed, and the matching tabernacle converted to be used as a reliquary to securely house a suitable relic of a Dominican saint. A new altar crucifix and candle holders were also sourced to complete the metalwork for the chapel. The restoration of the second gate to the burial crypt and minor lighting/decoration refinement and placement of the statuary were also completed. According to Boyle, on May 3, 2025 at 3 p.m., the restored chapel of St. Dominic in the lower shrine, dedicated to the founder of the order which established St. Anne's as a pilgrimage destination in Fall River, and the burial crypt for Fathers Soval, Terrian, and Marchildon, Marchildon, will be commemorated with a Mass and rededication of the crypt by Father Kenneth Sicard, O.P., President of Providence College, whose generous donation funded the majority of the renovation of this chapel. As a Dominican order was such a blessing to St. Anne's and so beloved by the parishioners over the more than 80 years of their presence, we are extremely grateful to the college, the Dominican Priory, and especially Father Sicard for their support and encouragement in restoring this crypt in memory of those priests who spent their vocations in service to us. The Dominican chapel and crypt restoration is not the only work that has been taking place at the shrine. Repairs to the structure on South Main Street have been taking place over the last 6 years, including crucial work on the roof as of late. Boyle stated this past summer that once the water ingress issues have been addressed, according to our architect, at least a full year will have to pass to allow the upper structure interior to fully dry out. Once this happens, we can then proceed to fully clean the upstairs of the fallen plaster, stabilize the remaining wall surfaces, and prepare to work with the city and diocesan officials for permission to reopen the upper church. The upper church could be open in a couple of years if all goes well. While this work is going on, the lower shrine will remain open for visitors during normal business hours of Monday to Friday, 10 to 4, Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 4. Massachusetts DOT announces upcoming street closure as part of Route 79 Davol Street corridor improvements. A street closure will be taking place as part of the corridor improvement project. Mass DOT will close Turner Street between Davol Street and Durfee Street starting March 10, 2025. A detour will be implemented to direct traffic from Davol Street northbound to Turner Street. This detour will be in effect for approximately 2 weeks. Local access to Bay Coast Bank will be maintained. Weather and unexpected circumstances make all construction activities subject to change. Massachusetts Level 2 sex offender accused of photographing women in YMCA shower issued bail. East Bridgewater. Chief Michael Jenkins reports that the East Bridgewater Police Department arrested and charged a Brockton man for taking photos of a woman in the shower at the East Bridgewater YMCA on Sunday. 42-year-old Abadan Rivera of Brockton was arrested and charged with photographing, videotaping, or electronically surveilling someone nude, partially nude, or sexual intimate parts. East Bridgewater police were dispatched to the YMCA at 635 Plymouth Street on Sunday to investigate the report of a suspicious man taking photos and or video of a woman in the shower. Following an investigation, police identified Rivera as the suspect. Rivera, already a registered Level 2 sex offender, was identified via video surveillance and an eyewitness. East Bridgewater police secured an arrest warrant, and Rivera was arrested without incident at his workplace in Middleborough on Monday. Rivera was arraigned Tuesday. The Plymouth County District Attorney's Office asked for $20,000 bail, but the judge set bail at $10,000 with GPS monitoring if released, and ordered the defendant to stay away from the YMCA and the victim. These are allegations. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty. Driver charged as Rhode Island State Police released details of I-195 crash involving 12 vehicles. A driver is facing charges after the biggest pileup on the Massachusetts and Rhode Island border in recent memory. According to Rhode Island State Police, at just before 9 a.m. Wednesday, multiple emergency response agencies responded to a multi-vehicle crash on Route 195 West in East Providence. A tractor-trailer traveling west failed to stop for traffic, colliding with approximately 12 vehicles. Emergency crews from the Rhode Island State Police, Massachusetts State Police, East Providence Police and Fire Departments, Providence Fire Department, Cranston Fire Department, Warren Fire Department, Seekonk Police, and the Rhode Island Department of Transportation quickly arrived at the scene to assist. 13 individuals, including the tractor-trailer operator, were transported to area hospitals with minor injuries. One female driver sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The operator of the tractor-trailer, 64-year-old John P. Main of Cranston, Rhode Island, was charged with driving to endanger, resulting in physical injury, and will be arraigned following release from the hospital. 3 alleged gang members from Fall River, Worcester, and Peabody accused of making violent threats to extort money by Ken Pava. Boston. A federal indictment was unsealed yesterday charging 3 alleged Gangster Disciple gang members with making threats of physical violence to extort money from 2 victims. According to the Massachusetts Department of Justice, Damian Willett, 30, of Peabody, William Wally, 30, of Worcester, and Michael O'Shea, 36, of Fall River, were indicted with conspiracy to make interstate communications with the intent to extort. Willett and Wally were also charged with making interstate communications with intent to extort. Willett was arrested yesterday and detained pending a hearing on March 10, 2025. O'Shea and Wally, who are serving state prison sentences, will appear in federal court in Boston tomorrow. According to court documents, Willett was the cellmate of Wally in March 2023 and later the cellmate of O'Shea from May 2023 through June 2023. The defendants allegedly threatened 2 individuals, a former gangster disciple who was recruited into the gang by Willett, victim 2, and their romantic partner, called victim 1, while serving state prison sentences. Specifically, the defendants allegedly conspired to make threatening communications, including threats of physical violence, and to extort money from the victims. According to the charging documents, Willett expected victim 2 to provide him with financial assistance during his incarceration from November 2020 to May 2024, as well as to his fellow incarcerated gang members. Gangster Disciple gang members refer to this practice as aid and assistance. Willett allegedly told victim 2 that he would be blessed out of the gang if he continued to provide aid and assistance. However, victim 2 attempted to disassociate from the Gangster Disciples gang soon after his recruitment. When victim 2 stopped providing assistance, victim 1 continued on his behalf. It is alleged that, on or about March 2023, the defendants started threatening the victims with physical violence if they stopped providing money to them while they were incarcerated. For example, Willett allegedly warned the victims that if they failed to provide aid and assistance, victim 2 would not be blessed out when Willett was released from state prison. Willett allegedly specified that he would have gang members pistol whip the victims, that it's going to be bad for you and everyone you know if they fail to provide aid and assistance. It is further alleged that O'Shea instructed a non-incarcerated co-conspirator to tell victim 1 that a gangster disciple will come find you and your family for thinking it's a game. The charge of conspiracy to make interstate communications with the intent to extort provides for a sentence of up to 5 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of up to $250,000. The charge of making interstate communications with intent to extort provides for a sentence up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of up to $250,000. Sentences are imposed by a federal district court judge based on the U.S. sentencing guidelines and statutes that govern the determination of a sentence in a criminal case. U.S. Attorney Leah B. Foley and Jody Cohen, special agent in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation Boston Division, made the announcement today. Valuable assistance was provided by the Massachusetts Department of Correction and the Lawrence Police Department. Assistant U.S. Attorney Philip Chang of the Organized Crime and Gang Unit is prosecuting the case. This case is part of Project Safe Neighborhoods, or PSN, a program bringing together all levels of law enforcement and the communities they serve to reduce gun violence and other violent crime and to make our neighborhoods safer for everyone. On March 26, 2021, the department launched a violent crime reduction strategy strengthening PSN based on these core principles: fostering trust and legitimacy in our communities, supporting community-based organizations that help prevent violence from occurring in the first place, setting focused and strategic enforcement priorities, and measuring the results. For more information, visit www.justice.gov/PSN. The details contained in the charging documents are allegations. The defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. Massachusetts passes $8 billion in marijuana sales. Let's look at the trends. By Mike Sylvia. More than 6 years in, the legal cannabis industry landscape in Massachusetts has had a chance to evolve, and a new industry report examines some of the trend lines. Published by the Cannabis Control Commission last week, the report shows an evolution that has been marked by plummeting prices and rising product potency, a network of retail stores that more densely dot the map in some part of the state than others, incomplete efforts around ensuring the legal cannabis world is a diverse one, and a sales volume that is slowing way down as other states legalize and the novelty wears off. The report, which was due to be filed in 2023 but was only presented to CCC members last week, is intended to let lawmakers see and understand what's happening throughout the industry, Commissioner Nuris Camargo said. Last fall, the legislature's Cannabis Policy Committee held hearings to consider legislative action in response to a litany of complaints and headline-grabbing internal conflicts at the CCC. House Chair Representative Daniel Donahue has said he foresees a legislative path forward. The report also serves as a baseline of sorts, coming just before new Executive Director Travis Ahern began his tenure leading the CCC this week. Commissioners who hired Ahern, a former town administrator of Holliston, said they hoped his leadership would bring a measure of stability to a commission that has been on a bumpy ride the last 2 years. Tiverton man arrested on firearm charges after police say gun was reported stolen in Massachusetts. By Ken Pava. A local man is facing multiple gun charges after a traffic stop. According to Tiverton police, on February 21st at approximately 3:30 p.m., Sergeant Jason Kobalecki observed a silver 2008 Ford Expedition traveling south on Main Road near Chase Avenue. Sergeant Kobalecki observed that the operator was not wearing a seatbelt. Through previous contacts, Sergeant Kobalecki recognized the operator as 36-year-old David Souza of Tiverton. A law enforcement database inquiry revealed Souza had a revoked Massachusetts driver's license, and his Rhode Island driving privileges were suspended. Sergeant Kobalecki conducted a motor vehicle stop on Main Road at John Duggan Road. A police tow service was then dispatched to tow the vehicle. Sergeant Kobalecki conducted an inventory search of the vehicle. In the center console, Sergeant Kobalecki located a set of black metal knuckles. He also located an SCT/KT Glock 43 9mm handgun concealed inside the rear map compartment of the front passenger seat. The firearm was loaded with 10 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Further investigation revealed that Souza did not possess a license to carry a concealed weapon in Rhode Island or any other state. The investigation also found that the firearm had been reported stolen out of Massachusetts. Souza was criminally charged with carrying a pistol without a license, permit, possession of a stolen firearm, and weapons other than firearms prohibited, specifically metal knuckles. Souza was arraigned by a bail commissioner at Tiverton Police Headquarters later that evening. Woman finds out she won Massachusetts State Lottery, $770,000 jackpot prize on her birthday. Here is how she is spending the winnings, by Ken Pava. Dorchester, Mass., March 5th, 2025. Massachusetts State Lottery has announced the winner of a $770,000 jackpot prize that was at stake in the Massachusetts State Lottery's Megabucks drawing that took place Wednesday, February 19th. Kathleen Waterman of Warwick, Rhode Island, who claimed her prize Monday, March 3rd at the Massachusetts State Lottery headquarters in Dorchester, received a one-time payment of $520,000, $442, before taxes. Waterman said she has been playing the same Megabucks numbers for over 40 years. She plays a combination of numbers that consists of her birthday as well as those of her husband and 4 children. She purchased her winning ticket at Cumberland Farms, 520 Wilbur Ave in Swansea. The store receives a $7,700 bonus for its sale of this ticket. Waterman said she found out that she had the winning numbers on her birthday. Upon doing so, she recalled saying to herself, "This is a mirage. It can't be." She said she plans on taking care of her grandchildren and investing the winnings. This is the 6th Megabucks jackpot won since the game was redesigned on November 12, 2023, to bring more value to players with better odds of winning, a higher average jackpot, and double the winnings for all non-jackpot prize tiers. Monday drawings were added to the traditional lineup of Wednesday and Saturday drawings. By reducing the numbers to choose from in the game from 49 to 44, the odds of winning the jackpot and all other prize tiers improved significantly. The odds of winning the jackpot went from 1 in 13,983,826 to 1 in 7,059,052. Dartmouth police looking for public's help to locate missing 67-year-old man. By Ken Paver. Miguel San Giorgio was reported missing on Wednesday, March 5th, 2025, and was last seen in the area of 537 Fonts Corner Road at approximately 2:30 p.m. Sonjero is 67 years old and is described as a black male, approximately 5'9", average build, with brown eyes, black curly hair, and was reported to be wearing a red jacket, black hat, and glasses. If anyone has any information on his whereabouts, please contact the Dartmouth Police Department at 508-910-1735. Fall River man pleads not guilty, held without bail in Superior Court after several charges due to city shooting. By Ken Paver. A Fall River man pled not guilty in Fall River Superior Court Wednesday. According to police, on December 20th, 2024, a call for shots fired was received and reported in the area of Charles Street. Officers flooded the area canvassing for the shooter. It was learned that an adult male had fired a gun in the air. Officer James Mello was canvassing the area and while traveling on Woodman Street observed a male matching the description of the alleged shooter. Officer Mello detained the male and discovered that he was in possession of several firearms and ammunition. 35-year-old Kevin Ramirez was charged with carrying a firearm without a license. Second offense, ammunition without an FID card, assault with a dangerous weapon, firearm within 500 feet of a dwelling, discharging a firearm within 500 feet of a building, and possession of a large-capacity firearm. Ramirez was indicted on February 20th on charges of carrying a firearm without a license, second offense, 3 counts, assault and battery attempt with a firearm, possession of a large-capacity firearm, and firearm violation with 2 prior violent or drug crimes, 3 counts. According to court records, at his arraignment Wednesday, Ramirez pled not guilty and was held without bail. A 58A dangerousness hearing was held and taken under advisement. A pretrial conference is scheduled for April 14th. 4-month-old puppies were found tethered to a tree in Massachusetts, but the story has a happy ending. By Ken Paver. The Animal Rescue League of Boston has announced that they recently found new homes for a pair of 4-month-old puppies found tethered to a tree near ARL's Dedham campus. There was no malicious intent, but is yet another example of a pet owner in crisis. The puppies, Sid and Poppy, were discovered on the grounds of the Nobles in Greenhouse School right next to ARL's Dedham campus on February 12th and were brought to ARL immediately upon being found by Dedham Animal Control. The Mastiff-type dogs were wearing matching leashes and collars, are in good condition, their coats are clean, nails are trimmed, and they are both healthy. You can visit arlboston.org for more information about how to properly surrender an animal.